heroes are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Toffee Bluecast. We are live straight after the game. You are going to get our reaction from the game. We go live straight after, so you can literally see how an Everton fan feels after the game. Could be completely different to how you feel. I'm going to let out how I feel. Paul's going to say how he feels and get how you feel in the comments, and we'll chuck it on the screen and have a little go of it. I know some of you will come on a bit later, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you've got to say. I've got loads to say, Paul. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, frustrating as hell, wasn't it? I mean, City are a good side. You know, we knew they would be a little bit toothless, and they were. But just some key moments that second half, mainly about substitutions and Portaki going off. That was the turning point. The key moments in the game all revolved around that, and then the triple substitution for both sides. And basically it came down to their substitutions paid off far better than our ones. And I'm not even on about Keane either.
No.
There you go.
I'm just absolutely fuming. Like, do you know what? I'm not even. If we lost against them, fair enough, because it is Manchester City. I still would peed off.
Yeah.
But if we lost against them, fair enough. But Michael Keane has absolutely boiled my head and rattled my head big time. I'm fuming. So peed off with Michael Keane. So peed off with David Moyes. And I know I've been putting these videos up. Moyes side, yeah, I'll get behind you if you're doing well all the way. Moyes, want you to do well, but when you fuck up, I will call you out, David Moyes. And today you messed up. You reminded me a bit of the old David Moyes substitution. I don't care if people think I'm going over the top here, because that move from David Moyes was so bad, so bad. And Moyes has played a big part to cost us today, honestly, because Moyes has added so much to us, but it doesn't mean if he does something bad, he's allowed to get away with it. No way. And that substitution that Moyes made, bringing Michael Keane on, which I knew straight away that it was going to happen. I knew what would unfold. I knew 100% what would unfold the moment Michael Keane come on. I knew it. And I was hoping I was wrong. I was hoping he'd come on and we played well and scored a winner, but I just knew what was going to happen when he brought Michael Keane on. And straight away, I put it up on X. I said straight away, Jake O'Brien has said he's a centre-back. Play him centre-back. Then we're still strong centre-back. Branthwaite, O'Brien centre-back. We've got Coleman on the bench, or you've got Patterson that can play right-back. It's as simple as that, and you get Neil to help them out, because obviously he wanted to keep O'Brien right-back because he feels that we're better in the right-back position with O'Brien. But you cannot put Michael Keane on that pitch. And if ever you want to know why Everton have struggled at the bottom of the league for so long now, and why we've been through all that shit, Michael Keane, watch him. Just watch him. I put a video up on X. I put this video up on X, and it's actually the pinned video. And it says that a defence is key. A defence is key to a football team. And everything is played through the defence. It's the most important thing. So if something bad is going on in defence, it affects your midfield, and it affects absolutely everything. Moyes went and plodded Michael Keane in defence, and it messed everything up. And Michael Keane is he's so scared, and he's so fragile, and he can't do anything, and he's nervous. And I think when you put Michael Keane on, he's a nervous player you could sense the nerves in him. He tried to tackle that Mamouche or whatever his name is, and he's trying to tackle him, but moving back more than what he's going forward. So Mamouche knows straight away that Michael Keane's awful. He knows, because Michael Keane's trying to tackle him, but he's going like that. And if that was Tarkowski was confident in what he's doing. And I think once Michael Keane put that nervous wreck onto Mamouche, everyone sensed it around him, and the whole team fell apart. And I know this is brutal jumping on a player, but Michael Keane should never ever be allowed to put an Everton top on again. He's not good enough. He is not good enough. He really is not good enough. And I said the reason we've been so good under Moyes is because our defence. And it's just showed even more so today. But I am fuming because Moyes should not have put Michael Keane on. And another little rant, Paul, as well. This is the reason I'm moaning at Moyes a little bit more as well. I don't believe, and I love Radium to pieces, and I want Brozier to do well. I don't believe that Brozier should have played instead of Beto. 100% don't believe Brozier should have played instead of Beto, because Brozier had his chance last game, didn't play well, and he had his chance today and didn't play. Brozier didn't do enough last game to get given a chance this game. He didn't. I thought Brozier was poor last game. I know, yeah. You peed me off, David Moyes, big time, mate. I'm not happy with you. So basically, Beto should have been given a chance. And I've seen you, Paul, say the way we started that game first off, if we had someone a bit more clinical up front and a bit more hungry, we would have scored. And I 100% believe that Brozier, for some reason, when he first come back and we had Radian on the show, he was really up for it. You know, he was hungry, charging, holding the ball up and everything. He's so lazy this time since he's come back. I'm not a fan of Brozier this time. And I'm not, he's just, Everton. Like I say, everything, it felt like to me, Paul, like Everton have progressed because we've sorted out our defence. Everton have progressed. Sorting out our defence has helped our defence on our midfield. So we've progressed. And then it feels like we've just gone and put Michael Keane in and said, this is what we was. This is like what we was when we was crap. And it feels like I went back to that feeling sick of that we were so shit. Like, I don't want to see Michael Keane on the. It made me scared. It was so bad to watch. And what's mad, I even seen Paul's as well, who will be in the comments. Like, we was enjoying Everton that first half. It was nice to watch. Everton have been nice to watch with a good defence. But the anxiety I got from Michael Keane being on the pitch, I didn't even want to watch us, honestly. As soon as Michael Keane come on, we were so weak that I hated watching us. Honestly, Michael Keane is just shocking. He's so bad. And that's a bad move by David Moyes, because it's not just on Michael Keane. It's on the thingy as well. So, come on. I've had a lot of rant there. Tell me what you think on what I'm saying. Let's chuck some comments.
Yeah. It didn't go well. Sort of. My initial reaction was when Saki went off, I thought, all right, okay, this is a chance for O'Brien to go centre defence, and then whether it be Young or Patterson or Coleman or whoever was going to come on, could be, that could be the case, and this could be the forerunner of what you would get in maybe a year's time, if obviously we still got Branthwaite. But he didn't go with it. He must have thought he doesn't want to take Jake away from that right back position, because he was doing all right. He got slid past a couple of times, got dummied a couple of times, but generally did quite well. So I think a lot of us were expecting Jake to go centre back and him and Jared be twin towers at the back, but it didn't happen. And David's made that choice, and Keane's paid it back in spades, really. It didn't go well. I mean, he turned slower than the Titanic, and he's got as much buoyancy and balance as well. So it's it was
yellow
nervous.
Card in like 5 minutes, didn't he?
He did, yeah. And I actually felt a bit sorry for him.
The yellow card was stupid.
There were other tackles made that weren't half as bad as that one. I think he just stood on the guy's toe in the end, but
for no reason. For no reason whatsoever.
But position wise, it didn't go well. But I mean, if you kind of, the three substitutions as well. They bring on
Yeah, too late and just all together and completely. They just massively
You
messed
bring
everything
on
up.
Kovacic, and two of their three were Kovacic and Doku came on, and both of them made an impact. The lads that
We
we
were
put
shit.
on, Alcaraz didn't really get his sniff, didn't sort of adjust to the pace of the game. McNeil tried to, but City held the ball well, so he didn't really get a chance to get forward much. And Tim Arubanum, a little bit off the pace as well. I actually feel a bit sorry for Mikalenko, because he was hung out to dry for the first goal. Really, he's already got Silva that he's marking, and he's stopping Silva from going. And then Rubenham's like, "Oh, go on, Mikalenko. Now you go and chase that guy who's going to pass the ball into the box. Come on, you got to work a little bit better together than that." It just seemed a little bit, yeah. It went very lackluster, and that started from when Taki went off. The whole sort of demeanour changed. They were more nervous. City could sense it. They kept the ball really well all the way through the game, to be honest. And like I said, and you mentioned it, I mentioned at half time on X, I said, unless you have someone who can create and take a chance at some point, City are going to hurt you. They'll come back and they'll get the winner if you don't get it first. And that's exactly what happened.
I read a comment earlier on. I mean, a bit up the top, and I don't care. I'll call your comments on. Don't care what you say, disagree or not. Don't care if you like me or like me or don't like me. I really don't give a shit. Well over the top, probably when I was ranting about Marco Keane is shit. I'm not over the top, mate. I've watched Marco Keane for years. I've watched us in a mess for years. I've watched us nearly get relegated and have a shite defence with Marco Keane, Holgate and Thingy. Not over the top at all. Marco Keane's shocking. He's nowhere near good enough. He come on and he was shite. He was really bad player. Really, really bad player. And to watch us first half, like we hit the post. We could have been winning first half. To watch us play so well first half, and then watch us absolutely crumble when Michael Keane, come on, it's not over the top at all. Not in my opinion. And I know a lot of people are thinking the same thing as well. So if you're happy with Michael Keane, fair play to you. I don't know how you're doing that in your head, but fair play to you. But Michael Keane, for me, he's shocking. He just really is bad. And if you want to be nice to him and you're trying to like say that he's I don't know what you want to say to protect him or anything like that, he's just shocking. He really is shocking. He was a big part of the goal. He got a yellow card as soon as he comes on for no reason because he couldn't even tackle because he was that scared. You mentioned, Paul, that players when they come on wasn't that good. Well, if you've got someone like Michael Keane at the back, you're in trouble. You just really are in trouble, and it affects everything. Honestly, an eggy fart spreads, and I'm telling you, Michael Keane spreaded really quick with his nervous energy and stuff. I think the players know straight away. He just ain't good enough. He just ain't. And it's not just about us losing against Man City, because like I said at the start, we're going to lose at some point. Of course, we are going to lose at some point. And I can accept that because I'm really happy with the way the results David Moyes has got. And I appreciate what he's done there. But we've still got to keep a high bar, you know. We've still got to get some standards. And to bring Michael Keane on was just a very bad move. You just don't want Moyes to get in a habit of making those bad moves because he's done fantastic. But we do know we've started to say with Moyes' substitutions, that's what a lot of people after the game in the comments, you lot as well, have started to say Moyes can be late on his substitutions. Moyes should have picked such and such. Moyes this on substitutions. So I do think David Moyes, he's got the players up for it. He's got the players relaxed. They look like they can play football. They're smiling the first half and everyone's happy. So he's done fantastic on that end of the stick. But I do think that he's got to be careful with his substitutions. Like a little negative and a little bit stupid on substitutions, honestly.
I think I don't personally, I don't see anything wrong with the substitutions. I think he made the three because it was the last sort of substitution window that he could use. We were 78 minutes, something like that, I think, when the three of them came on. I just think they were all off the pace. I just don't think that they got into the pace of the game and the time that they were on. And we hardly had the ball. I mean, it really felt as though we hardly had the ball, and we didn't hold it up very well. I mean, there was a couple of times in the first half that we kept possession quite well, but it ended up being a misplaced pass or a shot that just went into the keeper's arms or something like that. It wasn't any great shakes, but that second half we couldn't keep it for love or money. It was ridiculous, and Ortega wasn't really bothered at all by anything. I think there was a cross that Broja came in and tried to head it while he got it in his hands, and then they break away, and thankfully Garnegay takes one for the team, gets yellow card. Otherwise, they might have scored before that. So just really frustrating because we know we're better. They're good. They are very good. But we know that we can perform better, and we didn't test them. We didn't test them today. You know, someone said they knew it wasn't our day when Saki hit the post. You know, that was the closest that we came.
Well, Decore had a shot as well. Decore had a good shot that was going into the left-hand corner on the left-hand side with his left foot. Good save by the keeper, that was. I was surprised.
I mean, it's right there, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I mean, he's dillied and dallied a little bit. He's done one or two weird things with his legs and then gone off to his left-hand side, then shot. But Ortega's right there. So he'd be very disappointed if he didn't save that one. And then everything slowed down as soon as he got the ball.
And then there was Branthwaite's header as well. That was massive. That was probably a bigger chance.
That was a key moment.
We could have been winning. It wasn't just the one. It wasn't just the target in the post. We had a lot of chances. We was whipping a lot of balls in. Like first off, this is mad to say. I actually thought Harrison had a really... He went ghost second half. I thought Harrison had a really good first half, and I knew it would happen when we said that on the pre-match talk. But Harrison, first half, he was ripping that O'Reilly to pieces. His touch was fantastic. He was bringing everything down. And I was just laughing to myself because I thought, you know what? We said Harrison, don't play him. And he had a really good first half, Harrison did. And he was whipping some balls in. He was taking it down, good touches. Branthwaite, some switch plays across to Harrison. We looked a real danger down that right-hand side, which I didn't think we would. I thought Harrison against O'Reilly, O'Reilly would have him in the pocket. And I was really liking Harrison first half. And then all of a sudden, second half, you just didn't see nothing of him whatsoever. So it can happen. Then Decore seemed to be a little bit... He was okay in patches, wasn't he? He looked like the threat that we had in patches. But
it's all huff, puff and no blowing anything down. Do you know what I mean? There's no end product with it. Harrison gets his crosses in, but they don't hit whatever man, you know, and you can blame Harrison maybe for not picking out someone or blame someone for not being available to be picked out. You know, you didn't see Decore on the end of anything. You know, you didn't see Broja on the end of anything. And I've just I've got Redian's tweet here as well, second half. He says, don't understand why Broja barely moves about in these games. We saw against England and Andorra what he can do when he wants to play for Albania, obviously. But why the hell do you not want to put in some effort when you got to prove yourself?
Yeah.
At a new club, you know, probably be a case. And that's Redian saying that. You know, Broja's biggest fan.
I was like wary of, because I've just slated Broja so much about being lazy. I was wary whether, because I love Radian, whether he'd listen to this and think, bloody hell, you're slating my player. But I really rate Radian for coming out and calling it how it is with his own player, because we know how much he loves Broja. But I like that he's called it, because that was a massive chance for Broja. This is Broja's career, do or die, and he's just he acts like he's an elite footballer before he's even earned being an elite footballer. He acts like he's been and done everything and hasn't got the hunger that Beto has got. He hasn't got the hunger. He's just so lazy. He wants things on a plate. And if he didn't put 110% in today, if he wanted to put 110% in, he could have really given himself a chance. But I missed Beto straight away. And I wanted Beto to start. I was actually gutted that Broja got a chance after him being so lazy the game before. And I get it. They want to see him to see whether they should sign him. But I also want Beto to keep his confidence up, and I don't think that would have helped his confidence sitting up. Remember, he's a player that scored 5 goals in like 5 games, and he's been put on the bench the last 2 games. Come on. Seriously, that's a joke, that is.
Yeah.
Beto should have started this game. Like, do you know what I said to you, Paul? Substitution peed me off. That counts as a substitution for me. Like, you know, like Moyes starting Brozier over Beto. That peed me off.
Yeah, well, who was it on here? Lee mentions about, do we reckon that the starting lineup is right? I was surprised Brozier started, to be honest, from what we'd said. But that the mentality that Beto has is that I think Beto realizes that he's not good enough, so he has to work hard to get what he can get, and he's obviously worked on
from it.
And yeah, and he has worked on his running off the ball and defending from the front, and the way he's curving a run. It's a shame he actually got caught offside for one that could have been slipped through in the second half. But players like DCL and Brozier, they don't. It doesn't look as though they have that kind of mentality. They think they're good enough already, and that they don't have to. It'll just come, you know, because they're good enough. They don't have to chase it down, and feed off scraps, which is what Beto does. Which is why I think Beto's probably got more fans than Brozier and DCL at the moment.
It's the powerful bursting runs at Beto. He did one where he was unlucky to be offside. We played, but there was one where I think Garner Gay should have played the ball to Beto, but he didn't. He passed it to Njai. Then Njai played the ball that Garner Gay should have played, and Beto was offside. But if they played it through, Beto was through on that powerful run. There was one where we put it through, and Beto ran down, holding it up, and he's got that. Beto has got that power run through that when he's on, we do look for it and we do find it. And there was a moment where Brozier got put the ball through. Alberto likes it, and Brozier went and gave a free kick away. He fouled the I can't remember who it was, the player that played left back, but plays. Yeah, he fouled him.
He was immense today. He was absolutely immense, and we weren't sure whether he would be really good. Really,
yeah, he was good, but I think Beto would have been more of a handful in that situation. That was just a perfect example of that ball. I feel. I feel that he would have struggled with him more. Do you know what I mean? Like Beto should have been on. Beto should have been on. He really should have been on. It's frustrating. It is frustrating because it's just. I don't mind. I can take losing against Manchester City, but that first half it was ours. You know, we had a lot of possession. We was in their box a lot. We was up the pitch a lot. And Manchester City was really struggling with us first off. I was watching it first off, and I even seen Paul. He was saying, this is just so nice to watch because we're playing Manchester City, a really good football team. And we was whipping balls in their box, and they was massively struggling. And I said to Chloe, I said, whilst we're doing this, whilst we're hitting the post, whilst Branthwaite's just nearly scored, we need something to show for it. And we didn't. But if you go 1-0 up, in that first half, which we deserve to do. We deserve to go 1-0 up. If we went 1-0 up while we played better, which I believe if Beto was playing with Maitov, if we go 1-0 up, it changes the game completely. Goodison's rocking. I wasn't there, but I don't think Goodison was rocking at all today. I think Goodison was really quiet. And it didn't get rocking. I think a lot of people are sitting there waiting for something, waiting for a goal, and it just didn't get rocking. If we would have got 1-0 up, I believe that Goodison would have really helped the players to get going properly, and we would have had something to defend. It would have been a complete different game if Michael Keane stayed on the bench.
Yeah,
we should have gone how we started the game. We really should have gone 1-0 up that first half.
I mean, I think, and Lulu mentioned this before, and that Tarkowski sometimes had his critics and things, but he doesn't half hold that team together. You know, he organises a lot, particularly that back four, but also, you know, working well with Garner Gay and James Garner. And I thought James Garner played quite well today. He gets a bit of stick, but I actually thought he was pretty decent today. Garner Gay did all right as well. I was just putting in the comments there, who do you think did play well? Because you know, it was 83rd minute, 84th minute that we conceded. You don't get to that stage against Man City without some people playing half decent. So there were people who did a good job today, but it's just so frustrating that it could have been about. Everything could be avoided, but it just feels as though we shot ourselves in the foot rather than City turning it up a notch. You know, their substitutions paid off big time, but I just feel as though it could have been avoided.
I do think their substitutions. Obviously, Doku, I mentioned him. I said to you, people say he's got no end product, but he's a good player. And I've got some people act like he's cracks. He's got no end product, but he's got miles more than what anyone else has got. He's got weapons that no football player's got. Doku can just take players on. He just runs past them like they're not there, and that's a massive weapon in football. A massive weapon. It's more of a weapon than end bloody product. Because the positions he gets in and how he gets them up the pitch and how he gets them on the attack is a danger. I can't believe that Pep. I'd be fuming if I was a Man City fan with Pep. And I know people say he's untouchable because of what he's won. But if Pep started with Doku, they would have been a lot harder to play today from minute one than what they would. Do you know what I mean? If Doku started. Pep's done that a lot, you know. Pep's done that with Doku. And Pep's done that with Jack Grealish as well. If Jack Grealish or Doku played against us today, we would have struggled that first half massively. But Pep, he's honestly rattling in a lot of players and stuff like that. And because he's one of the most successful managers, he gets away with it. But if you want to look why Man City have been so poor, have a big look at Pep, in my opinion, because Doku not starting today was criminal. Good for us, but criminal. Jack Harrison getting pushed out of Manchester City is criminal. He's a good player.
I mean, you could see that they miss Haaland. Do you know what I mean? They miss sort of not a target man, but when they get to the line and pull them back, there's not many options, you know. And we said this last night. We said stop them getting to the goal line and pulling it back. That's how the first goal came, and how the second goal ended up coming from that earlier on. And it's so frustrating, and especially when a forward is coming across one of our defenders, and we've seen it a lot. And I'm not just saying Keane, but it happens to Keane a lot, especially at that near post. You know, it's just being aware, isn't it? But they just come from behind whoever it is and just side foot it in. And Pickford made some decent saves as well, and bailed us out a little bit again. But again, we didn't make those stops count.
For me, the best two players was Jake O'Brien. That header that he did, De Bruyne's shot was fantastic. That was a really good header by Jake O'Brien. And I thought Jake O'Brien, I know sometimes he gets turned and they get the shot away, but he makes the shot massively under pressure. I thought Jake O'Brien was fantastic today, you know, really, really good. That's why I'm frustrated he didn't play centre-back, because I know for a fact that where Michael Keane was a problem, Jake O'Brien at the side of Branthwaite would not have been a problem. I'm telling you, it would not have been a problem at all. There was a moment where the ball bounced up and it bounced and Michael Keane was there and he just... Mamouche went past Michael Keane. Just like Michael Keane couldn't even deal with a high ball that Tarkowski
He didn't have to do much. Mamouche didn't have to do much. He literally lent into him, but he didn't push him or anything. And then Pickford thankfully saved it. But I know.
People will not like that I'm so angry with Michael Keane, but at the end of the day, Michael Keane headed that. Like, I'm not just getting onto Michael Keane because that high ball, Michael Keane just headed it into his path, Paul. It wasn't even them. He headed it towards goal for him. Michael Keane rattles me. I'm going to have nightmares about him tonight. Honestly, I couldn't even look at his face either. That's how bad it was. Honestly, just looking at his face made me feel sick. And I'm not even joking. I know it's harsh, but he's just so bad. He's just not good enough. And it's not, it's awkward for us as well, because we know he's not good enough. Do you know what I'm saying? We can see it. We can see him getting more and more embarrassed that he's not good enough. And once he's made that first mistake, another one's coming, because he can't make a mistake and then all of a sudden do something good to get over it and get his game back on track. He crumbles. Like, honestly, once ice cracks, he just sinks, Michael Keane, I'm telling you. And he did that. He made a mistake and another one come. He got the yellow card. trying to do something to make up for his mistake, made another mistake. He's basically, do you know the guy on Police Academy, Paul, that spills his hot tea on someone and that has the stick and knocks someone around the head in Police Academy, and everyone tries to dodge him when he walks through the door because he just does loads of bad things. The guy on Police Academy, that the blunder guy, is Michael Keane, and that happened when he come on. It literally happened when he come on. You literally seen everything go crazy when he come on. And it's that simple. Michael Keane is the Police Academy clumsy guy. What's the guy's name? I don't know his name in Police Academy.
I can't remember his name, but it's the little guy with glasses, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't know his name. I'll try and find that out whilst I'm on.
It'll pop in my head. I've got one or two quotes from Moyes on his aftermatch.
I did my head in today, Moyes did.
He was talking about Tarkowski's leadership. He said, I think you could feel it. I think Man City sense it as well. It's something which, as a club, we'll need to consider if we do lose him. Between him, Jared, and the goalkeeper, an incredibly strong part of the team. They are, and actually, you can tell when one is missing because whoever comes into that position, they're not as comfortable, are they? He says it looks like his hamstring, obviously, we've not heard anything, so we'll get him assessed in the week. Hamstrings can be tricky. I mean, what are we? Just gone past the middle of April. We've got about a month left. Is he going to be back? I'm not certain he would be, to be honest. I really don't know whether he would be. He also says they thought for 60-odd minutes we were okay. Played well, gave them a good game. I think Taki coming off had a big change. Yeah, no kidding. It changed a lot of things and it shouldn't have. I think their subs did. We didn't get back any control in the second half. I agree with what he said. I think he is spot on with everything that he said there. And rightly or wrongly, our lads who came on, who we like all three. We'd be quite happy if all three were in starting lineup, to be honest. But they just didn't get up to the pace of the game, and their lads did and made more of an impact.
I don't know the guy's name, but I just put the guy on from Police Academy, and he's just walked in, and a box of fireworks have just started going off, and he's shaking someone's hand in the seat. And if someone slipped on something behind him.
Sweet Chuck.
Yeah. It's literally happening now. Like, Sweet Chuck is just knocking everything over. Like, honestly, he is Sweet Chuck.
Yeah.
Look, everyone's like scared of him. He's got a gun. Michael Keane is Sweet Chuck. Thank you for that. Honestly, he's just...
Good as some blues on it.
And I know some of you would come on at the start and I'm fuming. I am fuming, but it's just because I don't want to go back to old ways. We've been through so much as Everton fans, and Michael Keane reminded me of relegation battles and players that just are nowhere near good enough and being in a hole that you feel like you're never going to get out of. I don't want to ever go back to that, because I honestly, it's been season after season after season, and some people say, "Oh, you're Everton are a relegation club," and stuff like that. And I felt we was just on the verge now of coming away from that. And Michael Keane just reminded me of it. So maybe it might be over the top for me, but it just opened up a lot of old scars, I tell you, of having a really bad defence. And I think to go from having such a good defence, Paul, to loving, because Mykolenko today was absolute. I mentioned O'Brien, but Mykolenko was incredible. Like, very good. Mykolenko was really good, and he's doing it now. He's really enjoying football. He's playing with a smile on his face, and his slide tackle. He's confident. There was a moment where he went over, and he didn't even have a right to go for the slide tackle, but he took slide tackle, got the ball, bombed it up the pitch, and got us going. And he's got the confidence to say, "This is the difference." Michael Keane, when he's trying to defend, will back off and let the player do what he's going to do and be scared while he's letting the player do what he's going to do. Tarkowski will try and stop the player from doing what he wants to do, because I think in football, as a defender, it's either you let the attacker attack and you're in trouble, or you be a good defender and stop him from attacking and you win. It's a battle, isn't it, Paul? Is the defender going to stop him? Is the attacker going to go past the defender? And we was winning the battles. Tarkowski turns the ball over a lot. Branthwaite turns the ball over a lot. Mamouche was so quiet that first half. Branthwaite and Tarkowski had him in the back pocket. You didn't even know Mamouche was on the pitch. O'Brien, he was fine on the right-hand side, and Mikalenko was fine on the left-hand side. So in defence, we felt really comfortable because I was comfortable with O'Brien, I was comfortable with Tarkowski, comfortable with Branthwaite, and comfortable with Mikalenko. So you've gone from having something so nice to watch, and you're so comfortable and you're so happy to have putting Michael Keane in there and our defence turning shit straight away. And it's going good to really bad, and it's hard to take that, I think.
I mean, I can play devil's advocate really and sort of think, where were City's main threats on the pitch? It wasn't Mamouche. It was down the sides and on the edge of the box. It was De Bruyne ready to unlock the defence, and lads getting round the outside and then pulling the ball back. If you want to sort of stifle where they were strong, and they were strong on the wings, then Mikalenko's having a great game and O'Brien's having a great game as well. So you maybe don't want to move them. Maybe there's less of a threat in the middle, and you've got Branthwaite in there. So you have someone who's a centre-back, experienced, who comes in and lasts for half hour, and does that job. But as Lee says on here, and we've alluded to it as well, sometimes it can just bring a nervousness. It's like when a team doesn't have their regular keeper and they're not confident in their reserve keeper. You've seen it a lot. I don't just mean our club, because Pickford's been fantastic and a mainstay, and touch wood, like he's going to be all right for a while. But you can tell when other clubs don't have their usual goalkeeper and they're not very happy about the substitute keeper, that it can really make everyone jittery very quickly.
Is it like you said, the threats was down the wings, but the threats was down the wings because they was getting more possession. They was completely dominating possession at that point, where we wasn't allowing them to have a lot of possession. Garner Gay was in the face, Decore was in the face, through the middle of the park and on the wings, we was in the face, Paul. But you've got to also think the goals was come from the wings, but why was they getting so much success on the wings? Because we wasn't keeping the ball as well. And that comes from our centre-backs, because our centre-backs everything goes through your centre-backs when you have possession. When you look at the first half, was having good possession. You get Tarkowski sitting deep, last man, moving it to the left to Branthwaite, moving it to the right to O'Brien. And that got us passing the ball. Our centre-backs coming deep, sometimes passing it to Pickford. That's what gets you possession. And I think the moment you put Michael Keane there, who's not that good on the ball, you can't keep possession. You just can't keep possession. Possession's gone. And I think Branthwaite killed him off as well. And we just didn't have the ball at all. You couldn't get a hold of possession the moment you put Michael. And it's been said in the comments, like, I don't think we realise how important Tarkowski is. And he's had a little bit of stick sometimes this season. But I hope this is a realisation to how pivotal he is for us and how much of a good defender he is, because it's not just his tackles. He's obviously got leadership, because the moment he come off, you could see his leadership was gone. There was no connection to the midfield, or the defenders didn't have no leadership there either. So it's Tarkowski's leadership which often isn't seen. And also, Paul, I think another thing with Tarkowski, he's a really good passer on the ball, which I don't think he gets credit for either. He doesn't lose the ball that much, does he? He's quite confident on the ball. Where he's got the ball, Tarkowski, he doesn't lose it that much. Mark Keane would not be as confident as Tarkowski on the ball. So when you took Tarkowski off, who is a leader, who is also good on the ball, who can actually tackle players and stop players, turn the ball over as well, and put Michael Keane on, you lose a lot of stuff. And Tarkowski, I really hope it's not a bad injury, Paul, because otherwise, Toffee Bluecast is going to be a very miserable channel unless Jake O'Brien plays centre-back. That's all I'm thinking. That's all I'm thinking.
I hope that happens. Yeah, and I hope that happens. If anything, if you're picking out kind of a silver lining, then maybe it gives you sort of think about who we've got to play, who we've got left to play. Then it gives maybe Seamus more of an opportunity to get a game or two in before the end. Do you know what I mean? Or Patterson to give a proper go if O'Brien's actually going to get his chance. I know I did see that. I noticed on X as well. Someone put this up. Now this is the sort of thing I think will wind you up because you'll think that this is sort of championing mediocrity, but I don't know whether it is. See what you think. So, can Everton fans realistically be mad with the result today? Yes, Keane had his stinker, but we played brilliant football versus champions of England and came up short. No shame in that.
Nah, see, I'm not with that at all. I'm not with it at all. And I'll tell you the reason I'm not with it. Right? And it's fun. Yeah, because it's fine because we've all got different opinions and we all take football. That's the beauty of football. We all see it differently. We all think differently. We've all got our own thoughts. And we could argue over it for 24 hours and still think the same thing. So there's no point. But just remember, that's how, for me, that message that you put on the screen, Paul, that's how a low bar is made. That's how you end up having a bad season. If you just say to yourself, oh, we played good the last two games, so we can play shit this game. It don't matter. Oh, we're doing all right. So I think you've got to have a standard. I honestly do believe you've got to have a standard.
I agree.
I'm not. Yes, we played well before, but it doesn't give us the reason to have a shit game. Every game, we should have a bar that's got to be met, a standard that's got to be met by the players. And the players have set this bar because they've been playing really well. And I think we've got to have a standard where we just say, right, did we play our best? It shouldn't be, oh, it's okay to lose against Man City because they've done this, that, and the other. You should look at the game and you should say to yourself, are we proud of that? Have we done our best? And I think you look at that game and you think to yourself, we should have got a goal first half. We was on top. Like, to not come out with a goal first half when we was miles the better team and created some good chances. So, no, it isn't a game when they should not be proud of that game, Paul. They really shouldn't. So why should us as fans be proud of that game?
No, I get it.
That's how a good football team's made. It's how a good football team's made, I think, is by setting the bar high. They said that they say they want to be a good football team now. They shouldn't just accept that Man City have done this, that, and the other. It's fine because Man City was not good first half. Man City was shocking. I couldn't believe how good Man City was that first half. Like, they was not good. Iliman and Jai was a little bit quiet, unfortunately. But I think if we was on it first half, if Beto started and maybe Elkarez started, Paul, I really do believe we could have got a couple of goals first half. There wasn't on it.
Yeah. No, I get that. And I'm more.
What do you think? Are you with that or not?
Do what? Say again.
My opinion is that no, we shouldn't just be happy about losing against Manchester City because they're such a good football team. Yeah, we get it; they are good. But I look at the performance. I don't look at who we're playing and accept that we lost against them because they're good. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I'm pragmatic after we've had a bit of blue therapy, and I sort of think, oh, yeah, that was a positive and that was a positive. And yes, that's frustrating, but going forward, we've got this and that and the other. I knew how you'd feel about that comment because
that's why you put it on.
We've spoken about it before.
You know what? It's that comment for me is how you fall back into the hole. Do you know what I'm saying? I think so if you listen, that comment is how you fall back into the hole. It's just acceptance that it's okay not to be good enough sometimes when you know that they could have been better. And the thing is, I do believe that me moaning after this game that they could have been a lot better and angry that we let Man City get those 2 goals so easy isn't going to affect Everton and make us get worse. I think it's going to push us to be better. I'd love the Everton players to be as fuming as me that we lost against Man City and next game want to massively put it right. That's how standards are made. That's how the bar's made. And I think to be unbeaten, to only lose against the Shites and to be unbeaten at 10 or 11 and work so hard to do that, not to be beat, to get beat so easy. I know we're better than that. I know we're better than that. This team that's I've watched, Paul, the last 10, 11 games. I know that they've showed me they've set the bar. They have set the bar. What I've watched the last 10 games, even in the derby, we should have threw it because we got cheated out of it. Those 10 games where we haven't been beaten, or that's the bar for me, because they've shown we are so hard to beat. The Everton Football Club are so hard to beat, and I'm proud of that. And I think today, when Michael Keane come on, we gifted them 2 goals. And I don't see why I shouldn't be calling that out. And I should be saying, well, we gifted them 2 goals, but it is Manchester City, and they have got Pep, and they have got De Bruyne, so it's fine. I can't do that. That's not me.
No,
but yeah,
no. And Moyes won't be like that either. Do you know what I mean? I know he's a bit older now than he was when he was with us.
Here's the big question. The big question I want to ask you now, and I'm going to ask like a few people in the comments as well. Just get it on in the comments. Do you think Moyes is going to be fuming with Michael Keane, or do you think he'll be accepting him? Because that's what worries me is, would Moyes have put Michael Keane on and think, bloody hell, I'm not playing you that position again. I need to make sure I get O'Brien centre-back and sort of right back out. Or do you think David Moyes is thinking, like every other bloody manager's done, is Michael Keane, you can play shit again, and he'll be playing there now if Tarkowski's got a big injury. What's going to happen now? Because that's what I'm worried about.
You know what? I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, and I might well be, but how often has Keane played under Moyes since Moyes came back? Has he been on? Has he played any football under Moyes? So Moyes hasn't really he's not really got a barometer to work with in terms of Keane, has he? I think
he had him at Man United. He knows his shit. You only have to watch Match of the Day a couple of years ago to know his shit. I'm just sorry, but if David Moyes doesn't know that Michael Keane's a bad player, then he clearly hasn't been managing in the Premier League.
He's obviously not been watching this show.
No. It's not even nothing.
He came on late one game. I think he might have done. Oh, and then we fell apart. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Exactly. It's not nothing.
I mean, going forward, we all seem to want O'Brien centre back if Tarkowski's
Are we going to see it? Are we going to see it?
Well, I mean, the next game is Chelsea away next Saturday. Early kickoff as well. 12:30 kickoff.
Hockey, isn't it? Yeah,
so, I mean,
Michael Keane. Do you know where we got battered against Chelsea 6-7-0 with Dyche? If you play Michael Keane, I've got flashbacks to Palmer getting a hat trick. I've got flashbacks to that. Just don't make me stress about Everton. Don't make me stress about Everton again. Just put O'Brien centre back.
It would make. I mean, it certainly makes sense to see more of Jake O'Brien at centre back than Keane, because one's still in his infancy in his career with us, and the other one is possibly going to be leaving as soon as the summer kicks in. I don't understand why you would go for Keane ahead of Jake at centre back. We're not going to get relegated. We've got an opportunity for going forward. Lots of people want Jake anyway. It'd be interesting to see what he does.
You can't get away with a bad player. You can't get away with a bad player centre back. You might get away with it right back because you can get your right winger to help him out a little bit, and double up. You cannot get away with, if you've got a bad player centre back, you're in big trouble. And that's why I believe it would have been easier to have had your so-called weaker player in Patterson or Coleman right back with McNeil helping him out than just putting a bad player centre back. Centre back is the position where you will get exposed if you're not good. And I think putting Michael Keane centre back and thinking it would be okay was just criminal. It really was. You can't get away with a bad player centre back. Because like I've said it numerous times, everything is played through your centre backs. So your passing is through your centre backs. Your balls through your centre backs. When they attack you, your centre backs are massively under pressure. Your centre backs are the most key thing in football. And to put Michael Keane there, your weakest player, in that position, is why it all crumbled. So I do believe that Branthwaite and Jacob, because when people ask Jake O'Brien about him playing right back, he says, yeah, I'm playing there for the team, but but he said, no, I'm a centre-back. Jake O'Brien gets peed off. He wants to be a centre-back. He doesn't want to play right-back, by the way. He wants to be a centre-back. And David Moyes has even said, when asked, will Jake O'Brien go back to centre-back? And David Moyes has said, yes, that's his position. So why is I'm sorry, because we've been frustrated with this, because where we all thought under Dyche it would be Tarkowski, Branthwaite, and then Jake O'Brien was the third option. The third option was Michael Keane, and we was all really angry that it was Michael Keane, not Jake O'Brien. So if Tarkowski or Branthwaite gets injured, which has happened, it should be Jake O'Brien straight away. You're the third option to be centre-back, so he has to take that position. Jake O'Brien has to take that position. So straight away, there's no other option. Jake O'Brien has to be centre-back. Michael Keane shouldn't even be an option there. Jake O'Brien, Branthwaite, and then right back, you sort that out. But Jake O'Brien has to be centre-back. And I do believe he'd do a good job with Branthwaite. I was really, actually, Paul, excited to see what the partnership would be like. Because I think Jake O'Brien's been itching to play with Branthwaite in that position and try and take it off Tarkowski. So I was gutted it didn't happen. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, though, because I believe Michael Keane's going to have a couple of cameos.
Yeah. Yeah. So he should. So he should as well. I'm just thinking as going forward with the last few games. We've got 5 games left. God, it doesn't feel like it at all, does it? We've got 5 games left. These are the games. I'll just get them on the screen now. Here we go.
That was the third game at Goodison. I think people would have been paid off for that.
So, yeah, that's what we've got left going forward. So I don't see any. I mean, we're not going to get relegated. Europe. What?
I was just going to say straight away. I'm just thinking like Michael Keane against Ipswich is going to struggle. That's what I'm thinking. Hopefully we don't play Michael Keane centre back. I'm just not as confident in games. Like if you would have showed me these games with our normal defence,
hey, he scored. He scored
everyone. Yeah, I know, but don't do that to me, please. I just want to enjoy Everton. I just want to enjoy the finish at the end of the season. Last season at Goodison Park. Don't stress me out. And I wanted Europa League.
True enough.
15 points in the bag.
I mean, we've got some. There's some games in there we should be getting some points anyway.
I get what Emma's saying here, Paul. Like Jake O'Brien has been so good. I don't think nobody could do what Jake O'Brien does right back, and he's so good attacking and defending. And I knew that is probably a big part of the reason, but you just can't play Michael Keane centre back. I get it, but I just think Jake O'Brien would play good centre back as well. Like we do. It's a realization that we massively do need a good transfer window this window. You know, Paul. I don't know whether any of you seen this, and this is what probably bored me more than anything. Did you see who Pep was hugging at the end of the game, Paul? Did you see it?
Oh, he didn't go over to Branthwaite, did he?
Yes, he did go over to Branthwaite.
Did he go over to Branthwaite?
Yes, he did. He was hugging him. Oh my days, I was fuming. I wanted to cry. Yeah, he's in his ear, putting his arm around him, having a laugh, and Branthwaite was loving it back, talking to him like he likes him. Broke my heart, you know. Broke my heart. Branthwaite and Pep. And I know Pep did it to Harrison as well, but it don't matter. I know he did it to Branthwaite with more intent. And that's it. Pep is going to try and get Branthwaite, and that's going to break my heart because I've seen what we can be like with a bad defence. Don't take my Branthwaite.
That could be bad. It could be bad.
Honestly, I knew. I said to you on the pre-match, Paul. I said to you on the pre-match because Branthwaite played really well today. By the way, I said to you on the pre-match, Pep would like Branthwaite, and he will. And it scares the shit out of me. And Pep was proper hugging him talking in his ear, and Branthwaite was like laughing back. And don't do that to me. I'd say the only problem, even if we got 100 million for Branthwaite, I am not convinced that we could replace Branthwaite. I really don't think we could. I know that we've been linked to that Burnley centre back, but I don't want any other centre backs. I don't want any other centre backs. I'm happy with Branthwaite. I like Branthwaite. Don't do that to me.
I'm just going to throw the league on before we call time.
I'm about done now. Anyway, I'm going to smash my head against the wall 20 times after seeing Michael Keane play. I tell you, done me head in. Done me head in, honestly. Flashbacks of hell.
Although that from Dave is a class. So yeah,
it's just so bad.
But there we are, you know.
Yeah, I haven't accepted it all.
I mean, even Spurs and finish above. No, finish above Man U and Spurs. You know, that'll be our. That's not a bad season. We would have with that at the start.
Missed a good chance today, though, because we
would have been all right.
We really could have won that game. We missed a good chance today when you look at it. We could have been on 41, which really would have set us up to try and take over Crystal Palace and Brentford. What a shame. But
just inconsistent. That's what we are. At the moment. Just inconsistent.
It's going to be really interesting, Paul, to see what our player ratings show is going to be on. Can you do minuses? Can you do minus ratings? I think my most brutal player rating is going to come out on the player ratings, people. Yeah, so we have started doing player ratings. If we can fit it in, we will. We'll try and do a player rating maybe tomorrow night if we can fit it in. And, yeah, it's just it is what it is. What it is.
Yeah, if we can bring ourselves to bring a few scores.
The thing is, I think a few players played well.
But it's been blue therapy always helps.
We faced the music. We did face the music, people. We let you get a few things off your chest. You've been in the comments. You've said your rants and stuff like that. We always go live the night before, and we go live straight after the bloody game. Didn't particularly want to. The mood I was in today, but I did. I'm sorry if it's not been the nicest, Daniel, but that's what you get. I've got high standards. I want to get my old Everton back. You know what I mean? I want trophies. I want good Everton. Come on. Right. That is the end of the show, people. If you haven't already, do hit that like and subscribe. It really does help the channel if we can push the subscribers and push the likes to get Everton going decent on the algorithm. So please do that. Paul, last words.
Yeah, not the happiest day, but bit of blue therapy helped. So brush it off. Enjoy your Easter eggs tomorrow, and we might well see you tomorrow night for a player ratings.
I'm going to go and watch Police Academy.
Sweet Chuck.
I'm going to go and watch Sweet Chuck on Police Academy. Actually, I don't think I could watch Police Academy because it would bring flashbacks to that game. But yeah, it is what it is. We will be back. All you've got to do, and this is why I say I've got standards now for this team. I think we can be good. All we've got to do is we've got to bounce back against Chelsea. A really good game against Chelsea would make us forget about Michael Keane. I just hope he isn't playing. Otherwise, I'm going to be scarred more. So I just want Michael Keane gone from Everton. Get a new centre-back. Right, so Iliman and Jai. Yeah, there you go. That makes me feel a bit better, seeing Iliman and Jai. Chelsea next. We will face the music. Pre-match against Chelsea soon, and we'll do a match reaction, everyone. Have a boss one. Oh, this song says roller coaster, so you've got to expect the ups and downs.
Let's go. All sing your high line with the roller coaster of life. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. Oh. You seem to easily forget how to place your bet. When everyday life gets you down, you gotta steal the crown. Got to own it. Don't bitch and moan